Hi, and welcome to Here with Laura. I'm your host, Laura Williams. I'm a designer, entrepreneur, and mom, and this is a space where real life and meaningful conversations meet. On today's episode is a self-proclaimed serial entrepreneur. She is an international award-winning interior designer, mom, wife, CEO, and an advocate for attainable interior design within your home. Please welcome the founder of Inside Stories franchise and owner of Inside Stories Denver, Miranda Cullen.
Thank you.
Miranda, thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
You have traveled far and wide. You came
Yeah.
all the way from Denver.
I did, yes.
And I'm so grateful that you're here.
Thank you.
So tell me, how did you get your start in interior design?
Well, I took a class my senior year of high school. That was an interior design class. And my teacher after the semester was like, it would be a crime if you did not pursue this as a career. And I didn't even really know it was a career. And so that's kind of my first stint. I grew up in houses that were completely dialed in. My mom was very creative and very color coordinated and all of the things. So kind of that creativeness for home and home decor was always kind of in there. And so fast forward, I thought I wanted to work for Delta Airlines and be a flight attendant and all the things. And then I decided I didn't want to do that. And then I went to interior design school. So
Very cool.
yeah.
Have you
And
reached out to that teacher since?
I know I should. It's been like a hot minute, so I can't imagine that I would be able to hunt her down, but I should.
Yeah. I don't know. I feel like that would just make her feel good.
Yeah.
We'll
Yeah,
send her
my-
this episode.
I know.
You're the reason this empire
Right?
has happened.
Exactly.
So when did you start Inside Stories? And that's first started in Denver, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
First started in Denver. So we just had our 10-year anniversary of Inside Stories.
Congratulations.
Thank you. And prior to that, I had started another company that I started 8 years ago when I moved to Denver. So, and now I, converged all the services into just uncomplicated Inside Stories Denver. So
I love that. So
yes.
one business. So
Yes.
kind of break it apart for me. What do you guys
Sure.
offer?
So the breadth of work is pretty vast at Inside Stories. We do everything from a 3-hour block of time, which we call a working session in home, all the way up to multi-million-dollar custom homes and everything.
And that's
sort
the
of in
full
between.
service.
Yeah, all of
Kit
it.
and caboodle.
Yeah,
Okay.
all of it.
So is that 3-hour block, is that just like an in-home consultation? I offer something similar, but I do it at a different time frame. But
Yeah.
and then you just kind of sit down, go through everything, say, I would do this here, etc.
Yeah, so the working sessions are very tailored to whatever it is the client needs from us. So it could be us coming in and zhuzhing their accessories around and giving them a list of shopping. It could be us coming in and walking every single room of the home and talking through, big ideas of what we could do with the space. It could be paint consultations, really kind of whatever it is that they need. We do our sort of in-home consultation is sort of different than a working session. When we go into the home to do a consultation, we're really trying to gather that information of what their scope should be based on the projects that they need. But some folks just want a little bit of guidance, or they just want to dip their toe in because they're like, I've never worked with a designer before, or I just want to see how we jive before I jump in and have you, remodel a whole floor of my house. So,
Yeah. Well, and also, I mean, it's an added expense to hire a designer, but really it, in the end, could save you money if you're doing it the right way and if you have a good designer.
This is correct. Yes, we help justify our design fees when we talk about not making those mistakes and, buying the sofa. And I mean, it's hard when you walk into a space and somebody's like, I just went XYZ and I spent all this money, and you're like, whoa. So we're not even close to being done.
Yeah.
So buckle up. Here we go. So it is great for them to just let us have that blank slate and kind of start from fresh. But oftentimes we do come in and we're like, okay, well, we're working around the sofa because we're not going to just ditch it, right?
Yeah.
So we have to figure it out.
That's awesome.
Yeah, designer's challenge, right?
Yeah. No. Literally. But it's fun because then you kind of, especially when it's like a quick fix, and you're like, man, I just made a huge impact with something
Yes,
so small. And
exactly.
it feels really good.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And that is one of the reasons why I am so passionate about micro design and smaller projects
Hmm.
is that, you know, I've worked on crazy, crazy houses at this point in my career. And I really do find those smaller, intimate, quick hit projects that you come in, like you said, in a very small period of time make a difference and turn somebody's apartment that, they just needed a little bit of help with or their first time home. And they're like, I've got, rubbing my pennies together, but I really, would love some guidance. And
Hmm.
to make a difference is important to me. And that's why our company has this micro design service offering.
So let's talk about the terminology micro design
Mhm.
service because it's not something that everybody uses. So explain
Correct.
kind of what micro interior design is and why you have created this opportunity for people.
Sure. Yes. So we definitely have dubbed this term.
And I like
And
it. It's a good term.
yeah, it is a good term. And it's kind of came into light during COVID. So AD got wind of what we were doing and they were like, I'd love to interview you to understand what are you talking about micro design? And
Got the ear of
so
AD with
I
micro
know, can you
design. I
imagine?
love that.
So hopefully at one point we'll get in there with a micro design
Yeah.
project. We'll
Yeah.
see. So, yes, we have sort of cutoff points within our realm of services. And for us, a micro design project is a little bit more on that smaller end. So, a design fee that is that minimum of 3 hours for that in home consultation, or excuse me, in home working session all the way up to about a $5,000 design fee. So it could be a room design, it could be a bathroom design, it could be a consultation on finishes for a kitchen, what have you. So within our companies, those smaller, just kind of one-off type of projects is what we dub micro design. So and then, you know, we have the higher end custom stuff that we do also, and then kind of everything else in between. We just residential design. It's just kind of, what we all do
Yeah.
in that. But the micro is just a smaller scale type of work.
I love that. I feel like as a designer, you get like a dopamine hit when you
Mm-hmm.
are able to have like instant gratification in a project because
Yes.
I mean, some of these projects take 2, 3
Years.
years, maybe
Mhm.
more, and that's exhausting.
It
And
is.
you're like, I just want to get to that finish line so that I can enjoy and
That's
appreciate
right.
all of the headaches, if you will, but,
Mm-hmm.
it's just a lot of work to get to that finish line,
Yep.
and so when it's a shorter time period, you're like,
Yes.
"Hallelujah!" And it just feels good, and you
It
can kinda
does.
move on to the next one.
Yes. Yeah,
Yeah,
definitely. It's funny you say that. It is 100% true.
yeah.
Yeah, when you have to put your patient's hat on and you're like, "It's gonna take how long to build the house?" Okay. Okay, I'm along for the
Gotta
ride.
put
I
on
can
my
do it. Yeah.
patient pants.
That's
Yeah.
right.
We offer a service called in-home styling is just and so then we'll bring things from our store and,
Yep.
also procure other items that would make sense for it and schedule time
Mhm.
where they just pay us hourly and we
Yep.
style the shelves, we style the coffee
I love
table,
it.
bring in pillows, textiles. So we're not doing
Mhm.
any of the main furnishings, but we're just kinda layering in all the details.
Mhm.
And whenever we sometimes it's just like 2, 3 hours and we leave, we're like,
It's so fun.
"Man, that felt good." And
Yes,
that's, like,
so
probably
fun.
micro. But
But it
it's
is
just
micro design.
yeah,
It is,
yeah.
yeah. I mean, styling and those what we call the smalls,
Mhm,
accessories are really what bring a space together.
mhm.
And so many people, I mean, you can go in and, get services from Pottery Barn or Restoration Hardware and, you get all the things and then you put the stuff in the house and you're like, this still doesn't feel like my house. So, to have those abilities, it's funny you mentioned a store. I wanted a store so bad. It's not in my cards anymore at this
Yeah.
point, but I'm like, I'm so jealous because I love all the beautiful things. I love the smells. I love the, the styled shelves when you walk into an environment like that. And that was like my dream that people could come into the store or I could go and style and all those things.
It's
So,
cool because I think it inspires our clients to
mhm.
see what we have to offer without
Yeah.
having to look at our portfolio.
That's right.
Without, they just come into our beautiful shop and they
Mhm.
see all the things and they're like, "Ooh, I would love to have that in my home if it'll work."
Yeah. Yeah, you're
So
like,
it's
happy to
I'm like,
oblige.
"Sure. You want it? You can buy it.
That's
Not
right.
a problem."
That's right.
But it's a whole nother business. It's a separate
Mhm.
side of everything.
It
Granted, they
is.
work hand in hand and it's become a great tool for me and my team to be able to pull things from the store. You get
Sure.
inventory for the store, but then also I'm not only relying on the traffic coming in,
Right.
also,
You can shop from
our
your store. Yeah.
projects, all of that. So it all comes from the store. And we also source from other places,
Sure.
but it's a nice home base. So that's kind of why we did it, but it is a whole nother animal.
Mhm.
And there have
Yeah,
been a lot of
retail.
learnings.
Yeah,
We've only been
retail's
open a year,
yeah,
so it's been
retail's an interesting
interesting.
animal.
Yeah. And it's
Mhm.
scary, especially when you get into the online realm too, which we're in there. So it's,
Yeah. That's all right.
yeah, it's good for
Learn
serial
learn
entrepreneurs.
as you go and,
Exactly.
just figure it
Exactly.
out, right?
Yeah. So speaking of, you are
Mhm.
now franchising Inside Stories. Tell me
Yes.
about how that's going. What inspired you to jump into
Yeah.
the franchising world? That's a really big deal. That's super cool.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I'm actually not sure what started me into the world of franchise. So, I guess about 7 years ago, so 3 solid years into having this sort of micro design, service within our company, I just sort of took a step back and sort of analyzed the fact that this is a very missed opportunity, and then very shortly thereafter, COVID was a big thing, and I just thought to myself, if the business model that we've created from a designer perspective had been available to me in '08 when I lost my job,
Mhm.
I would have, because I was working for another design firm, I would have never started my own company. I would have been like, you have this opportunity for me as a designer to have, autonomy and work directly with clients, but under your business umbrella. I would have done it. And so taking a step back from that, trying to figure out how we could help other design firms implement this type of structure, I guess,
It's like a
for employees.
toolkit for success.
It is, and it's kind of both ways. It's sort of that business in a box for the business owner, but it also sets them up to have, positions within their company for designers that might not be willing to take that risk and go out on their own.
Mhm.
Yet, they don't wanna be necessarily under a thumb of a principal designer just being told what to do, and I'll be the face of the design, and you work so hard behind the scenes, and you're my right-hand man, but you're not, forward-facing with the client or what have you. So, the reason behind the franchising actually came from the employment standpoint of the way that we set this up to be so successful, as a business offering. And then, historically, designers just aren't the most, intuitive when it comes to being business owners. They're creatives.
Mhm.
I mean, the designs that some of these, designers put out are just mind-blowing.
Yes.
But when you ask them, you know, what was your profitability
Yeah.
last year? How did they can't tell you any of
No.
that.
Yeah.
And so I guess I just felt like it was my responsibility to help share, the success that we've created with this service and adding this in and the way that we've been running our business with anybody who's interested.
I love
So,
that.
that's kind of a long-winded way of coming around it, but it really was from 2 different perspectives. It's a service offering for the clientele and
Mhm.
then the practice of the business that helps the owners and then the employees that they employ.
So I can fully understand. So you're still the face of Inside Stories.
As a brand.
Okay.
So, not
But then the
really.
but then the person who is picking up the franchise, they will become that.
Yes. So essentially,
Sorry, I'm trying to break it down
no,
further.
that's fine. I love it.
I'm very interested.
Yes. So, essentially, for those that are interested in the franchise, it becomes Inside Stories by Laura.
Awesome.
It
Okay.
becomes, Inside Stories by XYZ company.
Mhm.
And ultimately, it's a way of doing business with a national brand behind them.
I love
And
that.
so, it's not an aesthetic. It's a service offering and a way of operating the business. That is what Inside Stories is. And
I think
you,
that's great that it's not an aesthetic, especially since if you
mhm,
are offering nationally,
yeah,
I mean, let's think about the
mm,
difference in style in Southern California to here to New York City. What
mhm.
people want out of their designs is so different.
Yes. Yeah, and if we wanted it to be, the aesthetic that we were driving, which, with our company, we're not noted for a specific aesthetic. We can,
Yeah, you design for your client.
our
Yeah.
portfolio is very vast. It's more about, the taking advantage of sort of soft leads. So one of the reasonings behind growing this service was we had a year where, a lot of firms, they determine what their sort of cutoff point for project's profitability are, right? If a project doesn't mean this amount of time for time billing or this amount of sale of goods, furnishings, then it's not worth my time because I don't make enough money to, there's like a cutoff point,
I
right?
love that. Yeah.
Or I don't want to mess around with the smaller projects because they take so much of my bandwidth and I don't make enough money on them. So it's just
Not
not
worth
worth
my
my
time.
time. Yeah. So we had a firm that, that I sort of built from the ground up that got to that point where if I was working on a project or my team was working on a project, it had to meet these criteria. And if it didn't, we had a couple of designers in the area that we would refer the work out to. So somebody would call in and we'd say, they'd say, I have a living room. And we're like, we love that. Thank you so much for thinking of us. But we don't service those types of projects. And we would refer them out to a couple of different designers.
Great.
And one day, one of the designers called and was like, please don't send me any more work. And we're like, how much work have we sent
Okay.
you? She's like, too much. And all told, we had over a course of a year, because we were tracking it, but tracking it very loosely.
Loosely,
But when
yeah.
we sat down, we had turned 65 hot leads away because we couldn't, more like we didn't want to
Chose
service
not to
them.
service them.
And I thought that's criminal. We shouldn't, if people are reaching out to us and they want our company to help
Mhm.
them with their home, we should not be saying that your project is not big enough, good enough, whatever for us. So we
Mhm.
have to figure out a way of servicing that. So that's, putting the business owner hat on and figuring out, even if each one of those people spend $1,000, it's $65,000 that, we just turned away, which is
Yeah.
not good. So, you know, working through and bringing this micro design service into our sort of our realm of service offerings is really what kind of solved for that problem. And
Yeah.
then when we realized, oh, we kind of have sort of the secret sauce here and really started putting some power behind it,
Yeah.
our revenue numbers started skyrocketing.
That's
We
incredible.
keep the financials and the numbers to the different services in separate buckets so we can kind of see. And what's really nice is that as a complimentary service within our, luxury brand, when sometimes, a project pushes out, and when you have these larger projects and they push out, it really does mess with your revenue and
Mhm.
way that you're cash flowing things and all that kind of stuff. So, it's kind of fun to see when one is like, a project pushes the micro design side of things really so they really
They ebb
do.
and flow together.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
really, really nice to have that to lean into, when you're like, the beginning of this year was a little bit slower on the more luxury side of things. We were
Mhm.
courting a lot of projects, and then all of a sudden people are like, "Okay, we're ready to go," but it was 5 months in, and we're like, "Whoa, Nelly, now we're, like,
I feel
off to
like
the
that was
races."
post-summer for me.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so now we can't, I mean, we're, like, on the hamster
Yeah.
wheel right now, we can't keep up
Yeah.
with it, but the micro design has been so steady,
You
um,
can rely on it,
we
which is
can.
incredible.
Yeah,
That's
which
very
is really
cool.
nice also as a business owner, you
Mhm.
wear like a million and one hats. You're a mom and you're a business owner and you're all the things and the clients want you and
Yeah.
there's only one of you to go around. So
Yeah.
to be able to share that responsibility across, many different platforms is really nice.
So that kind of leads me to my next question. I would love to hear how you have your team structured.
Sure.
I'd love to know like how many members of your team there are, at least
Mhm.
for, your Denver location. And then kind of like, do you have just a micro design team? Do you have a full service team? Do they kind of work together, go back and forth pending bandwidth? Are there certain projects that you just hand off to certain people? I'd love to kind of hear how you
Sure.
have figured that out, especially given the fact that you said, okay, this is not worth my time, because the value of your time, that's why you hire in people.
Mhm.
Um,
You start buying back your time as an owner.
exactly.
Yeah.
Yes, you buy back your time. So
Yes.
I'd love to hear kind of how your team
Sure.
is structured.
Yes. So we do have two divisions of our company. We have what we call our residential X team, which does all of the larger higher end projects, the ones that are the slower to go, the longevity ones. And we have a really good, cadence on how we accept those projects in and schedule them out. And then we have our micro-res team is what we call the designers that are hired in to do the smaller to medium projects.
Okay.
And each one of those teams has a design manager, and that manager really helps lead them. My team all in is 18, and we are hiring 2 more by January. Fingers crossed.
That's exciting.
Yes. So we need to. Our pipeline of work is robust right now, and so we need more.
Need the manpower.
That's correct. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's how our team is set up, and largely the teams don't overlap. Every once in a while, to your point, if somebody's got some free time on,
Yeah.
the ResX team, then they cross over and might help, if somebody's buried or what have you. But, the revenue on each side of things is kind of like, it kind of just keeps consistent.
Mhm.
So, and for me, the growth for my company is, and what we do in Denver is definitely on the micro res side. I have kind of capped the growth of the ResX side of the company because I'm sort of changing my focus of going out and selling these franchises.
Yeah.
And so we have to make sure that we've got
You're
all of
dialed
our
in.
bases covered, and
Mhm.
everybody knows what they're doing, and then I can also support as needed, so that I'm just
Yeah. But you can trust that the
Mhm.
process is being followed how you
That's
want it
right.
to be followed, and
Correct.
that's
Yep.
amazing.
Yep.
So from a hiring standpoint, how do you
Mhm.
typically find your staff? Because I'm curious, you see the social media,
Mhm.
I've been fortunate that I've had success with that thus far.
Yep.
But I've also had success with, oh, I have this great person, you need to, and it's like, I'm not really hiring right now, but
Yeah,
I mean,
sometimes when a good one comes, you have to just snap
I'm
them
gonna
up and figure it
snatch you
out.
up.
Yeah.
There's one sitting over there.
That's yeah.
I wasn't looking for her, then suddenly I had her.
That's great. That's great.
But I can't run my business now without her. So,
Mhm. That's
you
the
know,
best and worst feeling, isn't it?
it is. And I'm like, ah,
Yeah, that's right. Keep you
I need to
very
figure this
happy.
out now.
Yes, my sort of right-hand gal is also pregnant, and I
Oh,
am like, "Oh my gosh, what are we gonna do?"
I know.
So,
I'm like, let's talk about this maternity leave. I
yeah.
support you.
Yeah. Yeah, that's right.
When will you be back?
That's right. Yeah. Take all the time you really?
Take all the time you need, but also.
Yo, can you just bring the baby to work? No, just kidding.
Yeah.
Yes. So we get resumes, I would say probably on average 3 to 4 a week of people just applying.
Yeah.
We we're a very large firm in Denver, and
Mhm.
so, the words got out, and I think the way that I've structured my company is very appealing to designers when they've like, okay, I've paid my dues. I don't want to be under somebody's thumb anymore. Like, let me like spread my wings. And so we get a lot of interest that way. We do post on if we gone through the resumes and we're like, we still don't quite have it, then we do post on social media, Instagram. We get a lot from that.
Yeah.
Um, it's funny. I was on LinkedIn the other day. I'm just now like really starting to use LinkedIn as a tool for networking
Mhm.
across, because No,
with the franchise
now I'm
mindset,
part of the
yeah.
founders group of franchises. So that's a whole nother realm of things that I'm having to learn. And so I'm on LinkedIn and I was like, are
Which
you
is
hiring?
exciting. It's exciting to learn and do something new and
Okay, so
different.
yes, I'm really loving it.
Yeah.
I'm really loving it. But it was like, "Oh, are you hiring?" I'm like, "Oh, LinkedIn, you can click the thing and then there's a that too." So, but most of it is resumes coming in and then we always say to our staff, if you know of anybody,
Mhm.
we're hiring, we give, referral bonuses out to the employees if they refer somebody and they get hired. So,
Love that.
yeah. We
That's good incentive too. And then
yeah,
also, I mean,
they're
you're
going to
going to
bring us
get
good people then too. Yeah.
exactly. They're going to bring quality people
Yes.
because that's their name on the line, you
That's right.
know?
That's right.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're here to help push your franchise and get some traction with that. Are
Mhm.
you hoping to, just have this explode? Are you thinking I'd love to have 10 franchises and like cap it? What's your thought process?
Yes. So this is great timing to have this question because we just did our 1, 3, and 5 year goal planning
Ooh,
last week. I know, right? With the business coach and all the
I
things.
love it.
And so this is, we're out here for the Austin Franchise Expo. And
Mhm.
so this is kind of the launch of our franchise endeavor. So we did sort of a soft sort of guess what we're doing about a month ago. And then I've done a couple podcasts and we've gotten some calls from that. But so I would love to have one in the works before end of year. So we've got to get going because that's around the corner.
Sure is.
Next year, I would love to have at minimum 5. But based on, projections, it's probably going to be more like 10, which would be great. And
Incredible.
ultimately, within the next like 5 to 7 years, I would love to have 50 of them, a handful across the country in multiple states and multiples in some of these
What an
states.
incredible I'm gonna high five
Oh.
you. That's so great. I mean, as somebody who I love to build new things and I love to create
hmm
new things and it's exciting and
hmm
I'm like chomping at the bit to hear how you do. I'm cheering you on. That's so
You're sweet.
exciting.
Thank you.
It's super
Yeah,
cool.
it's I am very invigorated by the challenge of this. So
Yeah.
what I've learned about myself, and I think it's an awful quality.
Or
I
wonderful. Let's
know,
see.
right? Is that I literally said to my husband the other day, I looked at him, I'm like, when is enough for me? And he's like, well, I don't know.
No.
I get bored and it's not a good thing when I'm bored. And so this is a really great challenge for me because I know nothing about it. I mean, obviously I know how to run a business. I know how to sell, because as designers, we're salespeople too, even though
Constantly
we don't think we're sales, we are.
yeah.
So all of those things are things that I
Selling
know.
our souls.
That's
No, I'm just
right.
kidding.
Yes, exactly. But this realm of things is also, it's very different,
Mhm.
and you have to gain trust in different ways. And, we have what I am so thrilled about is that we have a proven concept and I have 7 years of data to show it. And we did a soft launch of like the idea of a franchise about 4 years ago. When we knew we were going down this route, we got all of the legal documentation done and
Great.
then did a soft launch with some people, some contacts I knew out in Portland. We went out, we met with people, and I rolled it all out there. And they were like, this is like the greatest thing since sliced bread.
Yeah.
Like, wonderful. And it wasn't quite the right time to, like, go into it. Like, for me, personally, business-wise, I was not ready. I was not in the headspace to, like, give it my all because I
Yeah.
still was like, "I'm the lead designer. I'm the this. I'm the that." And
Yeah, you have to kinda loosen the reins to create your own bandwidth
yes.
to do
Yeah,
this.
I would have sunk
Yeah.
the business. I would have sunk everything if I had done because this is gonna require a lot of my time, and I think ultimately, taking a step back, that pause was really good because we worked out a few more kinks in, our business model and some of these test cases, and then I really took a step back, and at the time I was, I'm now 50, so I was like, "What am I gonna do with the next half of my life?" And I think as designers, what's hard for us is we identify that we are interior designers. I never identified until a handful of years ago that I was an entrepreneur. I was destined to be an interior designer. I was the kid that moved my furniture all around in my room. I mean, as
Yeah,
most of us did,
that's
right?
same. Yep.
I was that child and always had good taste in the fashion and all the things, checked all the boxes, started down. And I've been a designer for 30 years.
Mhm.
And so this is who I've been. But I started having kind of these out of body experiences. And it's funny, my husband's like, "Are you having a midlife crisis?" And I'm like, "Actually, no. I'm feeling very empowered right now.
Yeah.
And I'm feeling very empowered because I created an amazing team
Mhm.
that I trust, that I have, created an opportunity for myself to do something different.
Mhm.
And I am taking a step back from the designing because as I really thought about it, I'm like, I'm bored.
Yeah.
I mean, I could do it for the rest of my life, but it's not challenging me anymore. And I need something to keep me engaged and challenged.
That's
And
incredible.
so, worked a couple years to get kind of my right hand people up to the point where I've got somebody who's running the operations of the company now.
Mhm.
And I've got my design managers, all of which, they've been with me 7 years and 12 years. And so really
Amazing.
seasoned team members. And seeing them sort of flourish and
Mhm.
grow into these positions has been quite awesome. And so now I'm to the point where I can be out of the office for a week, 2 at a time, and the office
That's
runs
fine.
and it doesn't need me. And it's
What a
really
gift.
wonderful.
That's super cool.
And it's given me sort of the permission to go out and to give this a shot because in order for it to go and to go quickly, because I want it to go quickly,
Mhm.
I know I need to put a lot into it. So,
Yeah.
which is very exciting.
That must feel so freeing and also gratifying that you're
Yeah.
like, "What I've done
Mhm.
works.
It does. Yeah.
It works, and I want it to help others," you
Mhm.
know?
Yeah, and there's a really big part of this franchise opportunity that speaks to me because, a lot of time as interior designers, we are we're the owner of the company, we're that face of that design, and sometimes you could kind of take a step back and be like, okay, so you're in a very different place than me. You're younger, and you've got all these energies with these younger kids. I now have kids that are adults, and I'm like, when do I get to retire? And it's it's troubling to me when you see a designer who's worked so hard in their career and they're like, "I'm tired, I'm done," and they close up shop. And then
And then that's the end of it.
and that's the end of
Yeah.
it. I don't want
Yeah.
that.
No.
I don't want that for Inside Stories.
We
Never
want
and I
inside stories to live on forever
Forever.
and ever and ever.
Forever. Yes, I do. And that ability, as a founder of a company
Mhm.
to be able to see, it's we create these companies and they should be bigger than us,
Yeah.
and I want the
Well, and you
folks that are
pour
there
so much of
so
your
much into it.
heart, your soul
Mhm.
into these businesses, into
Yeah.
every single design, or
Mhm.
into your employees who are then
Yeah.
implementing the ethos that you've created into these designs. And
Yes.
yeah.
And then you get to see them flourish
Yes.
and do amazing things and become the
Mhm.
face of the design and being the one that the client now calls. And, those are like, those are
Yeah.
very proud moments. And so that secondary piece of it, which allows, me to free up some of my time so that I can do different things. It's
Yeah.
also hard that people don't understand, you're up, you're getting the kids going, they're off to school, you go to work, you're working all day, and then you're the pickup of the children,
Yep.
right? I was not the pickup of the children. I was the
Yeah.
drop off of the children, and then I would work till like 10 o'clock at night
Mhm.
and get home and everybody's asleep, and you're putting in 60-hour work weeks and all these for years and years and years and years and years, and it gets
Mhm. It
exhausting.
does.
And when you pick your head up, you're like, "Okay, well, now what do I wanna do?" 'Cause
Yeah.
I'm too tired to work 60-hour work weeks. I
No.
get very grouchy when I have to do that. So yeah, I think, there's a lot of wins with this
Mhm.
business model, especially when somebody's got an established firm, that can really just roll this service in,
Mhm.
and it generates revenue, and it doesn't rely on you at all. It's just your brand.
That's incredible.
So,
I love that.
yeah.
You named your company Inside Stories, and I don't. My company's Living Oak Interior Design. It's not Laura Williams Interior Design because I want my team to be able to design as well without people saying, "Wait, did Laura design this?"
That's right.
You know, when it's like I'm approving everything and I'm looking at everything, but I have a very qualified, talented team that can also design spaces very well. So I want them to design as themselves within Living Oak. Is that what was kind of behind your thought process as well? And how did you come up with the name Inside Stories?
That we went through a creative charrette with a marketing company to create the name Inside Stories. And it's brilliant. I approved it. That is it, though. I cannot take credit for it. So that it was just a very, unique name
I
to
love it.
really describe what we do. And so what was the next question? Oh, why I didn't name it after myself. The
Yeah.
very reason that it's not about me. And I never really wanted it to be about me. I'm a very big advocate of the team environment, and we don't get where we are, as business owners, we're the risk takers, and so, but we don't get where we're at, when we have these companies without our entire teams behind us. And,
Well, and again, as business owners, you are wearing so many hats. So even if a client, that we're just signing says, and I want to work with you, you're going to be designing it, right? I'm like, I will be overseeing the project, but you don't want me to design it because I won't be managing it very well.
Right.
That's just the fact of the matter because I'm managing all the teams. I'm managing a store as well. I'm managing my household.
Your kids,
I'm doing the
all
podcast.
the
I'm like, you
things.
don't want me to manage it, but I will oversee every single detail that is, coming through and make sure that it goes through our process that we have, really niched down to be like a great process so you have a great experience. But you know what I mean.
Yeah. Yes. Yes, it gets very hard when you have to wear all of those multiple hats, which is why, the 60-hour work weeks happen. And at some point you get to the point where you have to take a step back and say, where are my strengths and weaknesses? And my business coach about 2.5 years ago made me take literally a minute by minute, like every task that I did for 4 days straight. And I wrote everything down, it was like literally my job to diary all this stuff down. And then we sat down and looked at it. And he's like, so what you need to address is the things that you really shouldn't be doing now, because ultimately it's slowing you down. It's not you and your greatness. Like you need to be sort of, he used, you need to delegate to elevate. And I was like, okay, I know.
I love that.
I know.
You need to delegate to elevate. How have I never heard that?
I don't know.
That's
but
incredible.
It was brilliant. So, and he gave me that permission to pass that work, because I think also a lot of times too, as when we're running the house and we're doing all of these things as moms,
I'll just do it.
Yeah. I will do it. And then we bury ourselves and I'll just do it work. Like our
we're
task
high-functioning
list.
individuals, so we get it done.
Yes. Yeah.
But
get it done.
Is it the best way to get it done?
Exactly. Or the best use of our time. And, my business coach was like, we want you 80% in your brilliance and 20% in just the shit you have to do. Whoops. Am I allowed to say that?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, whatever. So I'm actually shocked that was the first time.
You're doing great.
So I was like, okay. So I start, tasking out my things, and I'm like, okay, who can I delegate? And what happens is when you pass that responsibility, the people that you're passing it to are like, wow, you trust me to do that.
Yes, and they feel empowered.
They are empowered, and they start to elevate in their positions. And then it frees up your mental capacity in order to think up new businesses, apparently, when you're a serial entrepreneur,
Create
right?
franchises.
That's right. Yeah, just do whatever. So it was a very freeing experience for me, being a control freak and I'll just do it and all of those things. Yeah. And now I feel like I can't do anything. I'm like, can you help me with this? Can you, so Oh my gosh. Very much stepped in the true
Oh,
visionary of our company.
yeah.
And so I sometimes feel hamstrung. I'm like, I don't even know where to find that now. Where in the shared drive is that?
Yeah.
So I'm sure
Yeah.
the girls just roll their eyes at me, but
No, it's fine.
yeah.
You've got bigger fish to
Plus, I have
fry.
menopause brain like crazy these
Oh my
days.
gosh.
So I'm like, I don't even know where anything's at. Like
You're like, "I'm just getting through the day, guys."
I mean, just check. It
Yeah.
feels good when I get home and, I
Uh,
seemingly got everything done. And then I'm
yeah.
laying there and I'm like, oh no, did I do that?
Yeah. So you mentioned to me that you're an
Mhm.
early bird and you're a lover of routine, which I am as
Mhm.
well. I wake up at 5 so I can get things done before I wake up my children at 6 or work out or something. Like I'm
Mhm.
either on my computer at 5 or I'm working out at 5.
Yes,
Tell me about your morning routine because you seem to love it like I love mine.
I do. So I don't have children at home anymore. So
Yes.
true empty nester, which my husband was making fun of me the other day because literally, so our two kids moved to the East Coast in September.
Oh
Yeah,
my. So they're
together.
far. Oh, that's sweet.
Yeah, so together far.
We're in the East Coast.
They're in North Carolina. Yeah.
Adorable.
So
That's
which we
fun.
love North Carolina, which
Mhm.
we'll probably eventually move there too, but that's for another story.
Yeah.
So and then we had a bonus kid. We call him our bonus kid. He was we had somebody that needed a little bit of help and guidance, and he was living with us for about a year and a half. So our bonus kid moved out a weekend ago, and I turned his room into my first like home office that I've had since the kids were like one.
Yeah.
And I spent the whole day in there, and my husband is like peeking around the corner, and he was making fun of me. He's like, "Are you just gonna stay up here?" I was like, "I
Maybe.
love it."
I have
I
my
have
own
the
space.
candles lit. I've got my desk set up. I was so excited to
Uh,
have this home office.
it's
But
the small things.
I know it's the little
Yeah.
things, right? And like nobody touches the things, and
You're like, "This is
everything
my spot."
stays where it's supposed to be.
I know.
So anyway, I'm an early riser also, up at 5:20, depending on if the pups wake me up or not. But so we have 4 dogs instead of children. We
Oh
have
my
lots of dogs.
word. That's a lot of dogs.
This is
Are they big or little?
we have 2 littles and 2 bigs.
Oh,
So
they each
yeah.
have a buddy.
Yeah, totally. So up by 5:20-ish, I am a straight routine person. I'm out of bed, I make the beds. First thing I do, right? And then, do my morning routine. I'm out the door by like 6:15 and then the office by 6:30. And I have a solid hour and a half to sometimes 2 hours depending of just like
Before anybody comes in.
mhm.
Isn't it nice to be the first one in
It's
the
lovely.
office? Nobody's bugging you.
Yeah, it's so quiet, it's
Mhm.
so peaceful, our building is beautiful, and, just to walk in and enjoy, just take a moment of pause every morning to just be appreciative of the beautiful space that we have, and I sit down, and I go through emails, and I get my task list for the day going, and,
Love it.
get the stuff that, maybe I procrastinate on the day before. I'm like, I'll just get that done when I get in the morning, and I'm fresh, and I'm ready to go. And then, yeah, they, are a couple of the folks, they arrive like 7:30-ish, so but they're all very quiet as well, and we always comment about how lovely it is to, like, have
In
a
the
second.
morning?
All you can
Yeah.
hear is the dishwasher going in the kitchen. And then, I whatever it is that with designers, our days are never
The
and I think
same.
that's why
Yeah.
I'm such a love of the routine because the second 9 a.m. hits, it's
Well,
a
here's
free
the
for all.
thing. You have the things that you can control, and you do control them. It's like,
Mhm.
I take these moments
Yeah,
because I'm able to.
that's right.
Otherwise, the whole day is a shit show.
Yeah.
See, I said it
I
too. It's
almost said a
okay.
shit show, yeah. Yes, yeah, and I think ever since I was a little girl, my mom was very routine,
Yeah.
so I'm very routine, my husband is, my children are.
It's amazing.
So, I think there's a lot of security in that with when, you're gonna have a day of unknowns or, these days, like, the world's a bunch of unknowns, so that security in that
Mhm.
is really nice to know.
That's
So
amazing. I love that.
mhm.
Um, you mentioned to me that your son does NASCAR driving.
He does.
That's crazy.
That is why they moved to North
Oh,
Carolina.
really?
Yes.
And
Mhm.
your daughter's just in on the action?
She was like, "He doesn't get to go have an adventure without me, so I'm going." She's a free spirit adventure girl
I love
herself.
that.
So, yeah, he is driving NASCAR. So, of course, now I'm like, okay, well, we're going to turn that into a business too.
Mhm.
So, yeah. So now I'm race mom slash manager slash, he's got to raise sponsorship monies and all the things.
Wow.
So,
That's so
mhm.
cool. How did he get into that?
Yes. So
I'm just
my,
curious because I've
yeah.
never met anybody who professionally drives cars like that.
Oh, excellent. My dad, growing up, my dad was a crew chief and a mechanic for a bunch of different types of race teams.
Neat.
And so our family's been involved in racing my entire life. My son,
So it's not too foreign.
it is not too foreign.
Okay.
The fact that he's driving cars is kind of mind blowing to me. But he just has loved cars from the second he literally was born. He would be 6 months with his bottle sitting in my dad's lap watching NASCAR. The cars going around and around so every Sunday.
How funny.
And he just loved it. And for his 16th birthday, he asked my husband and I if, because we do experiences with the kids now, so which is really nice. It's really hard with the gift giving.
I'm trying really hard to
You're
start
just about there.
implementing that.
Yeah, you're just about there. I
'Cause
think
guess
our
what?
first.
Toys are just crap everywhere in my house,
That's
and I want
right.
no more toys.
That's right. And they don't make them cute. Why don't they make them
No,
cute?
I know.
That Melissa and Doug stuff's kind of cute, but they don't make kids' toys cute.
I know. It's irritating.
So, and it is irritating. But our first vacation in lieu of a trip was the kids were, I think, almost 8, almost 9, and we did a trip over Christmas.
Okay.
And that's when we pretty much started that. So it's we
Wow.
have the family experiences. So you're almost there.
Yeah.
It almost doesn't matter that it's a non-toy thing. You can
Yeah.
start to reason with them.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Jonah for his 16th birthday was like, I'd love to learn how to drive race cars. I found the school. This is how much it costs. Can I do this for my birthday? And
You
we're
did
like,
the research. I love that.
sure, you can do that.
Yeah.
So my husband and Jonah, they went to Mid-Ohio, and he did this basic, they called it basic training. And when he was done with it, one of the coaches tapped my husband on the shoulder and he's like, your kid's good. You should stick him in our advanced class. And
Oh, wow.
and of course, my husband's like, oh, they're just blowing smoke up. They just want us to go into the next class. I'm like, they might. It's
Maybe.
I'm sure it's a sales tool. But, his times.
You're like, but I'm falling for it.
That's right. I'm like, wow, let's talk about his times. And his times were really good for, the first time he'd ever been in a car like that. And so then he went to the advanced course and he did really, really well there too. So he applied to get his license. He got his racing license. And then that's
Wow.
no turning back.
That's crazy. So you need to have a special racing license.
You do.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I didn't even know
Yeah,
that.
you have to have
Makes
special
sense. You
racing
should.
license. Yeah, exactly. And so, yeah, he's done a handful of the road courses. He actually raced at COTA in
really?
last December.
Oh, neat.
So
Were you here for it?
I was. Yeah,
Cool.
I was here for it. And yeah, this year is going to be wild. He's it's technically his rookie season. So he's, got to pass all the NASCAR tests. And so he's going to be testing at Daytona in January.
Oh
And
my gosh. That's crazy. I grew up in Orlando, so I would go to Daytona. So I'm familiar.
They put me in a race car around that track this past summer. I mean,
Who are they? Your kids?
Yes, kind of my son and his coach. They
What?
stuck me in one of those, experience. And Laura, mind blowing. You really can't really understand what it
Even
is that
just
these
watching the
drivers do.
movies, it freaks me out. I'm going to be honest.
I
It's a
mean,
little
you're
too out of control
driving
for me.
and the blue sky's out the windshield and then you're on the banking and the blue sky's out the window. And we pulled in and I was like, how fast did we go? And he's like, we went 190 miles an hour. And I was like, I don't think I was quite prepared for that number. And then I was like, I'm never doing that again.
But
and then
you
I
did it.
bursted into tears and I'm like, oh no, this is what you're doing? It's really dangerous.
That's what I've been thinking this entire conversation. But
the G-force is pushing me into my chair. I couldn't breathe. I'm like, oh my God,
gosh.
you're going to do this?
But that's why you get all the special training. And if you're passionate.
This is what we're doing, I guess.
Yeah.
I think I just knocked my...
Oh, you're good. It's fine.
It'll hear me.
Yeah. That's crazy.
So wait
though.
until... You have 2, you said?
6 and 8 years old. My
Boys and
daughter
girls?
is older than my son.
Okay.
Yeah.
Same here. Yeah.
So, and at this point, my daughter says that, she likes to design things too. So I'm like, okay, great. Maybe
Yeah.
you can take over Living Oak one day. That
That's
sounds
perfect.
lovely.
My
But
daughter
also
gave it a
she's,
try.
yeah.
She,
She did?
she did, yeah. Her first, year in college,
Mm-hmm.
she was a design major,
Okay.
and she was interning at our company, and she came in one day and she was like, "I don't think I'm as passionate about this as you are."
Oh,
And I was like, "Well, that's really okay. I wasn't this passionate when I was 18 years old,
yeah.
And she's just like, "I'm not sure this is for me." And I'm like, "That's really okay. Like it doesn't have to be for you." She's like, "Will you be disappointed?" I'm like, "No, I want you to, you
Do what's
know,
going to make you happy.
exactly."
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Aw,
So, yeah, so then she left to go abroad for an entire semester, and now she's like a travel bug. So,
I love that. If you're
yeah,
going to travel, now's the time to do it too. When
100%.
you're that young and free and you
Mhm.
don't have any other commitments,
Yes.
it's
Yeah.
incredible.
I know. All the things. My kids are so brave. I was not that brave when I was their age, I wasn't. So,
Is it so wild to think about how your kids are adults now? Is that just insane to you? Because I
it's
think about it
amazing.
and I like start to well up and I'm like, because I feel like we're in such a beautiful, perfect
Mhm.
place right now where they take care of themselves really
Mhm.
well.
Yes.
Um, they still need me and
Mhm.
they like to hang out with me.
That's right.
Like, it's just such a beautiful little bubble of time,
Mhm.
and I don't ever want it to pop.
I know. I know. Yes, the teenage years are interesting years as they're finding their own. So you're not quite at that cusp yet. So you
No.
have a couple more like years before they get a little bit more sassy,
Yeah.
right? And they start thinking for themselves. But
My daughter
I
has had a couple of moments where she's sassy, and I'm like, "You realize that was sassy, right?" She goes, "Oh, it was? Sorry, I won't do it again." I'm like,
yeah.
"Thank you.
Yeah.
Please remember that
I
phrase when you're
won't
14,
do it
15
again.
years old. Remember
Exactly.
that phrase, please."
Mhm. Yes. So I'm quite enjoying having an adult relationship with my kids. So my children were teenagers through COVID.
Mm.
It was a rough go, just trying to just navigate teenage years, navigate COVID, all of the
I
things.
mean, socializing is so important in their
Yeah.
lives
Yeah.
and in their
And
priorities at that time. I
mhm,
can't imagine having
yeah.
regulations to that.
Yeah, it was, very trying, and so, it's tough, they're trying to be who they want to be,
Mhm.
and, you want them to, but you're like, "Wow," like, this is,
You're like,
you
"Are you
know,
sure?"
this is aggressive, but okay, we can figure this out, we're all going to
Yeah,
survive,
yeah.
so I was saying this to my husband. Again, we were just talking about the fact that we're now empty nesters all of a
Mhm.
sudden, and, that I'm really embracing the second the kids walked across that stage at graduation, I was like, "I am done.
Yeah.
You are now adults, you're both 18. I mean, you can live at home if you want, you can move out on your own if you want, but I'm not parenting you anymore. So, best of luck."
Good for
I don't
you.
wanna do it anymore. Like,
Yeah.
I'm out, and I was not the parent that was crying at graduation. I was like,
We did it.
"Oh, thank goodness."
Yeah.
And so, yeah, I love who they're becoming as adults, and I
I'm
love that
su
relationship.
I'm sure that's a piece of it too, where you're like,
Mhm,
"We did this. You guys are
mhm.
cool.
Yeah, I
Let's
really do
let's
like
just keep
them, and
the ride
mhm.
going
Yeah,
and see where this lands,"
yeah.
which is
And
crazy.
I don't wanna control that for them. I really want a couple of my girlfriends are like, "You're letting him drive race cars?" I'm like, "Letting him?" I mean, it's
You're like, "He
really
wants to do it and he's a grown-up."
he wants to do it, and he's really good at it, and I'm not
Yeah.
gonna squash it. I mean, I'm not gonna be the one that gets in between him and his dream. I don't want him to become an adult that says, "God, I really wish I did that."
Yeah. But I
And
wasn't allowed.
I wasn't allowed or wasn't supported
Yeah.
or any of that. And I want that for both of them. So we really have tried very hard to allow them to have a voice and spread their wings and do the things. And I said, when you're moving out there, you guys have to get jobs. I'm
Mhm.
not paying for your rent. I'm not paying
Yeah.
for your lives out there. So you are adulting now.
Mhm.
So, we sat down and we did Excel spreadsheet with the budgets and the,
Real. You
what
set
you
them up
can
for
and can't.
success to be successful
You
humans on their
try.
own. You
Yeah,
have
you
to.
try. And,
Yeah.
they're going to fall forward and you're going to be there to help them. But,
Guide them, and then hopefully they learned a lesson and then
yeah.
don't do it again. Or if
Yeah.
they do
But
it
I'm very
again, they'll
proud of
know how to
them.
figure it out the
Yeah.
next time.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's crazy. But I will say, like, your comment on, I honestly think that's the selfless part of it. It's you saying, we've gotten you to this point. Now you need
Now
to
it's your
choose your
turn.
own. Yeah. And that's
Yeah.
better because you're setting them up for success. You're making them learn how to do things on their own. When kids are coddled,
Yeah.
it's
And I don't want to control that for them.
no,
I
no.
don't, because I'm such a different person, and
Mhm.
my dreams and aspirations they're different. We're all different humans and we're going to go about them different ways. So I just, we empower them to be themselves,
It's cool that they have each
and
other too and that they wanna be
mhm.
together. That's so fun. I
Mhm.
love that. Not
Yeah.
everybody can say that about their kids,
I know. And
you know?
I mean, my kids are 9.5 months apart. And so, there's a strong
Oh my
love-hate
gosh, is that
relation.
called, Irish
Irish twins.
twins?
Uh-huh.
Wild.
So they grew up
Mhm.
they did everything together and there was a strong love-hate. Like they either loved each other
Were
or
they in
hated
the
each
same
other.
grade or different
They
grades?
were in a different grades.
Okay.
Yeah. So when they decided they were going to do this, I was like, okay, we definitely did something right
Yeah,
because
'cause they wanna be
they
together.
want to be together.
Mhm. That's
Yeah.
amazing. So
So
cool. Okay, so we've taken up our entire time already.
we have.
Yes.
Oh
I
my
glanced
goodness.
over at the clock and I was like, "Oh, it's time to wrap this up." Whenever this happens, it makes me happy because
Yeah.
I'm like, "Oh, this was a great
Yeah. I
conversation." So
loved it.
I'm sure our listeners will think so too. But thank you so much for being here, Miranda.
Oh,
Thank you for
thank you for
traveling
having me.
all the way from Denver just for our
Yeah.
podcast for sure. But remind everybody where they can follow along with Inside
Yes, of
Stories. If they
course.
want to learn about the franchising opportunities, how can they learn?
Yes, of course. So our website is insidestories.com.
Mhm.
Our Instagram handle is insidestories_design, and the franchise information is on the website. We have the host pages on that website, so they can just click franchise and
Bada bing, bada boom.
shoot us a contact. Fill out a form.
Fill out a form. That's all you have to
Yeah,
do.
that's it.
And
Easy
then you can
peasy.
have a successful business.
That's right. We'll help you.
How easy is that?
I know. It's very exciting. I can't wait.
Well, thank you so much. I can't wait to see your success with the
Thank you.
franchise venture. And I know Inside Stories is just going to grow cross country. It's going to be incredible. I'm excited for you.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
And thank you for spending a little time here with Laura. If you enjoyed today's conversation, I'd love it if you'd subscribe, leave a review, or share the episode with a friend. It helps more than you know. And you can find more about me, today's guest, and everything we talked about in the show notes. And until next time, take care of yourself and don't forget to make time and space for what really matters.